Hey guys, so we are getting into another Halloween tutorial now. I'm going to be doing the vampire look today, and we're going to be playing with a new foundation that is very, very pale, even for me. I think it would actually match my winter color as opposed to, believe it or not, this is my summer color. So we are going to be playing with the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. This is in the very palest shade called Pale. No surprises there. We want to be very, very pale for the vampire look, so if you're going for the vampire look, maybe go one shade of foundation lighter. Don't forget to blend it down the neck in that case so that it looks more normal. You don't want to have only a white face. So this foundation is a bit interesting, so we're going to be working in increments. I am not going to be putting it all over my face in one go. So you don't want to put it on well, there it goes, running down my face. You don't want to put it on your sponge or on the back of your hand because it is very liquid. And as you can see, very, very light. Although when blended in, it might be less light. I may need more. Running down my face. That's a very creepy feeling. And you really do want fairly high coverage for this. I don't know if you can tell the difference between my cheeks. And it's very big. That's quite pale, and that's not a bad thing because it's my winter color. I'm not even kidding. So my usual foundation is the L'Oreal True Matte. Oh god, I got it on myself. Okay. I got this. Should not have worn black. I'll fix it in a minute. I need to get this on my face first. My usual foundation is the L'Oreal True Match in the palest shade they have, which is Rose Ivory, I think, or Rose Porcelain. I don't know, whatever. You've seen it before. So that's my usual foundation, is the L'Oreal True Match in the lightest possible shade. And that gets too dark for me in winter. So I'm just going to quickly get this foundation off my clothes. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Managed to rescue the shirt. It's drying now. I've taken precautions and put down a towel because this is way more runny than expected. So, yay. Alright, forehead. I'm just going to... Scary. Oh, it is so weird that it is so wet. Okay. Never worked with a foundation like this before. Good to know that you need to protect your clothes. So, if you're going to wear it to work or anything, do not wear the shirt that you're going to use. Not that I would recommend this for every day, because it really is quite liquidy and you're very likely to cause problems. My goodness. Also, I do recommend using a damp beauty blender for this because it seems to work better that way. Because it is very liquidy formula. Interesting little bottle. Not a lot in it for the price though, so maybe they have bigger bottles somewhere else. I don't know. By the way, it's a good one to start with that size because then, you know, you can try it and find out if you like it. Next, we're going in with concealer. This is the NYX HD Photo Finish Concealer, or Studio Photogenic, and this is in the lightest shade. Again, I think it's Porcelain. Yes, Porcelain. So we're going to put that under the eyes on any spots, so just to cover any redness. As you can tell, it's quite a bit darker than the foundation, so I'm hoping this is going to work. But when blended out, it should. And this is just a good concealer, though it's a little thick in consistency, so be careful, a little bit goes a long way. Okay, that's foundation. I'm going to be setting it with a translucent powder because we don't want to add a darker powder because the powder shades I have tend to match my skin a little more and make me look a little more tanned in winter. I don't know. But so we're going to be using a translucent powder, and this is an H&M translucent powder. It's, you know, quality wise, I'm not going to complain. It's not bad, it's not fantastic either, but I mean, I have no complaints. So we're going to set the T-zone. Got powder everywhere. Downside to translucent powder, it goes everywhere. And I'm just going to pat the translucent powder on, because if you swipe the translucent powder you might pull up foundation, and that's not what we want. And once you feel like you have a good layer on, things don't feel sticky, leave it for a moment, and I think we're going to do eyes and then finish the face, just to help things set. So I'm going to be using my Smokey Zoeva palette first. I want to show you the colors, they're very pretty. And what we're going to be using, I'm going to go in with Relieve Moon and put that on my eyes. So that's this very light shade here, and put that on my eyes as a base. So we're going to take a fluffy brush and just sweep that over the lid, and I'm going to use it to set my concealer as well, because I get creases when I laugh. My whole face crinkles and it causes creasing around my eyes. Not a bad thing, very normal, happens to everyone. Okay, now we're going to get into an interesting thing, because the look I'm going for is going to be very odd. So I'm going to start with this pink, and I'm going to take a slightly precision-y brush, but also a little bit like it's a little bit more flat, but it's still fluffy because I'm going to map out the shape that I want. Tap off excess powder just in case. I'm going for really putting it everywhere. Everywhere. Now I'm going over this with a red later, but for now, this is what we're going for. Might seem silly to have set everything with a different color first, but it helps to build up a more opaque base so that your natural eye shade stuff doesn't come through, like the veins on your lid or anything. And we're actually going to take it quite low, almost where you would put a highlight, kind of an idea. Because don't forget, vampires are undead, so you kind of want to look a little dead. Just a little, not a lot. Okay, now I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush, and this is my favorite. It's officially a crease blending brush, but you can blend anything. And we're just going to go into the edges. Blendy, blendy, blend. Now what you can do is, for example, take the translucent powder on this brush to help the blending. But what I like to do is I like to take the color I was just using to kind of still deepen the color and then blend out the color more. I'm going to start with what's in the lid, and we're going to take a slightly more precision fluffy brush, that is this one. I'm going to I mean, that's pigmented. It's a pigment after all. And we're gonna start by putting it on the lid. Let's not go too crazy, shall we? And let's not start putting it on our face. Now this red is quite nice because it's got a pink base, so it is the color shade that works best for me. Reds with an orange base tend to not work so goodly. Start with putting it on the lid and under. Now why red, you ask? Well, I want the eyes to look almost bloodshot. Sorry. I had a cold a couple weeks ago and the cough, weird throaty rattly bit, hasn't gone away yet. I'm a bit confused by this cold that won't leave, even though I asked nicely. And the other lid. And again, we're going to go in and blend after. But this time I'm going to be blending with the pink again, because that color just works best. It's like our transition shade, but then we put it everywhere. Now you can make your eyes into whatever shape you want, if you want it more round, if you want it more tapered. I am going to try and blend a little bit with this brush, but it is more of a precision brush, so it's a little harder to blend with. You can take this color as far down as you want, or as not far down as you want. So I'm going to dip into that pink again that we were using before from the Zoeva and blend. You don't want any harsh edges. It has to look like it is literally just part of our face. Which sounds crazy with these colors, but not if you're a vampire. I would recommend for a vampire look to get fangs. I'm not wearing mine now because they're a little bit annoying to speak with. But you shall be seeing the fangs later. So, I mean, what we're really going for is that very, very red. Now, I might even take it down a little bit on the edges. So, I'm going to take that. Where'd you go? I had you like 2 seconds ago. Where'd you go? Okay. I'm going to take this brush, the same brush I was using before, and dip into that pigment again. And I'm very, very carefully going to start kind of blending it further down. Easiest way to blend, little circle motions. Yes. And the same on more pigment. So I try to dip in so carefully to prevent getting too much pigment, but then sometimes I don't get any. And make sure everything connects up. Back to blending. Lots of blending. Again, I'm blending with the transition shade on my brush because it helps. That's the easiest trick I've found for blending. That and the correct eyeshadows. Some blend better than others. Beautiful. Now I need to wash my brushes again. Okay, what you can do, and what I think I might do, is dip into this kind of plastic ran away. Ow. Okay. Dip into this burgundy-ish shade here and put that on the outer corners just to deepen the crease, so our eyes actually look a little defined. And I'm just going to put it on that brush that I used the red with because I don't have 1,000 brushes and this works. I mean, we're using the same shades again, so it doesn't matter if a little bit of extra red gets into the red. It might even help the burgundy shade be more burgundy. Beautiful. Okay, so that's it for the eyeshadow part. Now we're getting into, I am going to do a wing because I think that looks nice with this. And my new favoritist thing, it's a red eyeliner pencil in OxBlood from NYX. It is the Faux Blacks. And just to show you the beautiful color, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to be putting that in our waterline. So I'm going to do that first. Wow, that really is the color of blood. Have you ever wondered what it looked like if your eye was bleeding? Now you know. Look at that. I'm going to smoke it a little bit under the lash line, but not too much. I'm going to be taking my Maybelline Master Precise eyeliner pencil, and I'm going to be doing a slight wing. You can make it as dramatic as you like. I haven't decided yet, so we'll see as I'm doing it. I kind of connect it to my lower lash line. Not a lot, just a little. And now it's time for mascara, because my blonde lashes look ridiculous with this. So I'm using the Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara from Maybeline. And I like a super thin brush. So that is focus, please. No? So that's it with mascara. For dramatic effect, you can add lashes. I don't have my lashes, or rather I ran out of lashes. So, oh well. Now we're going to do the rest of the face, which involves contour. Now in this case, contour, you want it to be sharp, because vampires, angly faces, and I've almost hit pan on my, this is the NYX HD blush in Taupe. That's blush, the back, and that's the color. It is the best contour shade I have found ever for my face, aside from eyebrow powders. Now usually when I contour, I go in small circular motions, but now we're going straight down and taking it fairly far into the face. We are contouring the neckline. I've hit Pac-Man. Life is sad. I will make sure to blend it down the neck nicely. Now you're going to take the dimple of your head here. And you do want to do this in circular motions with some sharp edges there. There, kind of adding to that skeletal effect. And make sure to blend it into the hairline. I am going to contour my nose. I'm going to do brows and then highlight, because that's the order in which I like to do things. So I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paradise Pomade Extatic in the color 103 Chatain, I think. Comes with this handy little brush in the lid, very useful. And take a spoon and give the eyebrows a brushing. And always start with the bad eyebrow first. Always one eyebrow that doesn't do what you want it to do. And we want to keep the eyebrows very, very angular. Because for me that says vampire. Okay, I don't know how much of that my camera filmed. At some point the little view screeny thing went black. Anyway, highlight. And yes, I am sweeping it over that pink. I've taken a fluffier brush. A little bit on the cupid's bow. Oh, that highlight blends in beautifully with that pinky red. Ooh. And now for lips. For lips, I'm going to be using the Midnight Merlot in the bold color Sensational by Maybeline. Again, I have a thing for Maybeline, in case you haven't noticed. We're going to do lips. And I'm skipping lip liner. Because interestingly enough, this lipstick has a lot of staying power. And I'm going to take a very small precision brush and just clean up the lines. So, I'm back. I'm wearing my fangs. They're not the easiest to talk with, which is why I did not wear them throughout the tutorial. But, yes. These are these little tiny clip-on fangs that you just click on to your incisors. Although I think I got lipstick all over them. I think it just adds to the effect. This one's a bit loose, but essentially they do stay in all night. Do not eat with them in because that hurts. You bite your lip and it's very painful. You can drink with them in. You can talk a little bit with them in, though you might sound a bit funny. A little bit more. I decided to keep my bangs back because I think hiding behind them would ruin the rest of the makeup. For outfit, you can go either the very modern route, lots of leather and, or pleather preferably. Leather's a bit hard for, you know, moving. Or you can go a more Victorian route by wearing a high button blouse and then a long flowy skirt. That's entirely up to you. I just wanted to share the makeup for it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you're having a lot of fun laughing at my weird lispy stuff. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you'll come back next time for my last 2 Halloween tutorials, which I should be doing by next weekend, I promise. Okay? So I hope you have a very lovely day. I hope you enjoy this Halloween, your Halloween in general, this Halloween, just Halloween, yay! And have a nice day. Bye.